Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. Let me introduce myself. My name is Arya Nugraha, NPM 18212297 from Classic Quantitative Research in NLT course. And I'm here want to present about my research proposal with the title Attitudes of English Education Students at Siliwangi University Towards Grammar Course. Here I will explain some points in the introduction. There are background, research questions, operational definition, aims of the research, and the use of the research. Let's start to the first one, which is the background. The background here is to explain that is Siliwangi University today, English education students seems to care less about grammar, so they rarely use grammar in daily life, for example, such as everyday conversation or when writing a message, and the grammar has a big role for in teaching learning as a foreign language. Besides, grammar is the one of the determinants of the student's success in learning English. This is besides that I know from some my close friends, and they mostly do not mastery the grammar with various factors. For example, some don't like a grammar, or someone don't pay attention in grammar class because there are so many different factors from each person. Therefore, this research we will find out what factors influence all the things. The next are the research questions. Here there are two questions related to the previously mentioned in background. The first is how much do English education students at Siliwangi University care about the use of grammar in everyday life. Later we'll find out how much the students care about using grammar in everyday. And the second is how much care are students of English education at Siliwangi University towards the grammar course. We will find out how much students care about the grammar course. Furthermore, there is an operational definition which will determine the variables to be studied, which here will explain the use of grammar, explain how students' attitudes towards grammar, explain how the relationship between students' attitude and grammar course. The next is the aims of the research. The purpose of this research proposal is to find out how much the English education students at Siliwangi University care about the use of grammar in everyday life, and how much they care about grammar course. And the last is the use of the research. The benefit of this research can be see whether or not English education students care about grammar. Then it can improve the attitude of use of grammar in everyday life, and can be effective if it is used. The next slide is the literature review, which is what will be surveyed here is the attitude of English education student at Siliwangi University towards grammar course. Here are two quotes related to this research. The first is, according to Mill in 1960, children's attitudes towards subject matter often form a selective attention process. What he will learn is determined in part by his readiness to receive. So the students will be ready to accept what they see and in the subject. When they are ready, they will be give attention to material being studied, and the attitude of students affect the learning achievement of students. So that students must have a positive attitude. And the second one is, according to Fiki in 2010, the attitude of students is recognized as one of the most important factors that have an impact on language learning. What needs to be analyzed here is the attitude of students towards the subject being taught. Here is used for grammar subjects. Thus, the students can obtain basic consideration when in implementing appropriate learning strategies. So the learning can be successful. For example, grammar that has been learned in class can be applied in conversation in everyday life with his or her friends. The next slide is about the research method. Here are some points too. The first is this research uses a survey research method, which will use a sample of 15 English education students FKIP Unsil. And it is located at Siliwangi University Tasikmalaya after the students finish the course activities. So here the researcher will find free time to find a sample, for example after finish a class or waiting for a class time, because filling out the survey here doesn't take time too long. And this slide discusses about our research procedures. There are 4 points. The first is planning, second is defining the sample, third is conducting the data, and the last is processing the data. In the planning point, here the researcher will look for information and make goals for designing the questionnaire. The questionnaire here use Google form, then makes observation to the research target. Furthermore, at defining the sample points, researcher determine the sample randomly selected with a total of 15 English education students. In the point of conducting the data, it is in taking data from 15 samples. In the beginning, the researcher will explain the purpose of this research and provide a Google form link for filling out the questionnaire, and for the result, the data will be automatically list in the researcher's Google account. And the last point is in processing the data, when after collecting data from 15 English education students who have done with the Google form link, the researchers will see the results of the questionnaire, then analyze and calculate the results based on the percentage of students' answer and make the research into a table. This is the slide about the references, and that is the explanation from me. I'm sorry if there is a word error. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.